Okay, so we thought we'd bring up a debate today, not a debate, something that I see quite regularly on Facebook and Instagram and just through friends and people that I know that train. The subject of, firstly, the standard of personal training in the UK today, and also the difference between coaching, online coaching, and what personal training really should mean. Before I go into that, I'll just give you some of my credentials in the sense that I kind of sit on the fence with some of this debate with regards to the fact that I am a former Royal Marine, so I'd like to think that a certain part of my life I was at elite fitness levels because I had to be. Also, I am a fully qualified personal trainer, sports therapist, tutor, personal training tutor, and assessor, and I've run my own PT academy, and I've also worked for the biggest PT recruitment company in Europe a few years back. So therefore, putting young personal trainers into gyms and relying on their businesses to work. So the debate itself, I see a lot of people discussing is whether you need to be qualified or not qualified to be able to work. First off, I'd like to preface the conversation by saying that the majority of the stuff that I practice or I've ever done, I've learned from people who aren't personal trainers, from been privileged enough to work with some fantastic athletes, great friends that I've been able to train with over a period of 20 years or more, that have shown me way more than I could ever learn from a book or a manual or online. So with regards to my own sport, and I'd like to think I'm still competitive in that sport, I'm in touch with a lot of people that run gyms, a lot of people that are qualified and a lot of people that aren't qualified. Since COVID, it's become more apparent that more people have looked into their own training and how they're going to do it. But there's also been a lot more people online offering advice. Let's get a few things clear. To call yourself a personal trainer in the UK today, you need to have an accredited qualification. Passing a personal training course, does that make you a great trainer? Absolutely not. Many of you, I'm sure, learned to drive with your hands at 10 to 2. And the way you drove on your driving test that day didn't make you a fantastic driver. In fact, I would probably think that most of you, your most nervous experience apart from your driving test was actually going out in a car alone after passing your test. The fact of the matter is though, you had a license, and more importantly, you're insured. Difference between online coaching advice, if that's an opinion, and you want to take that information from somebody that's got fantastic credentials in terms of what they've achieved in a sport, then that's all good. But when money starts changing hands regarding programming, nutrition, and sometimes without the knowledge base that people need to be legal, that's for me where it goes wrong. First off, let me say this, even though I'm in personal training education and I love the industry, I think the standards of it are awful compared to the way it was 20 years ago when I went through my qualifications. We deliver the courses to the best of our ability, and that's not a problem for the student or the person that wants to be a personal trainer. That's a problem for the industry to sort out. If you don't have a love and a passion of training and you don't want to learn anymore, you don't want to upskill your credentials and just take money off of people, then you shouldn't be in this industry, in my opinion. There are so many trainers out there right now, or so-called trainers, that have fantastic following on Instagram. They're great at social media, but they couldn't name a muscle group if I asked them. There's lots of trainers out there that qualified years ago that when I put a level 3 exam in front of them, they wouldn't pass it. I have a genuine passion for people wanting to continue to learn and further their education. Now, where it goes slightly wrong is the subject of personal training breaks down into 3 lots really. One, a fitness instructor is not a personal trainer. Let's make that clear. If you have a level 2 qualification, you can give fitness instruction, depending on the type of insurance you've got. And that will be down to the insurance company to tell you how many people you could deal with and what advice you can give. A personal trainer can go a little bit deeper into different populations, more so I suppose level 2s like a GCSE, level 3s, even though these are NRVQs, is more like an A-level, so more in-depth anatomy physiology. We talk about periodization, but yet again, these qualifications don't make you a good trainer. Your own personal experience, life experience, passion for fitness is what's going to make you be successful in this industry. Retention of clients is really important. And this is where most trainers go wrong, because they're good at selling it, or they're good at getting the turnstile through the door. So as an average, we might do 100 membership sales a month. Trainers will pick up maybe 1 in 6, 1 in 3 consultations, convert them to a paying client. And then when they leave at the end of the month, they just pick up the next person through the door. For me, that's not great personal training. Great personal training is helping someone on a journey. So it might be for a wedding, it might be improving health and diabetes. More often than not, in today's society, it's health and fitness with regards to obesity. It could be sports specific. There's so much more to cover. And some of the coaching or online coaching, if it's specific to a sport, then that's just advice. But if you're taking money for it and you don't understand about the legal implications of the insurance, informed consent, PARQ, you do not have the relevant medical information, you're not considering lower back care, you're not considering if they're diabetic, you don't know about previous injuries, or more importantly, you don't have the information you need if something was to go wrong for that client. So I'm going to leave you again with that car analogy. If I got in your car tomorrow and you gave me permission and I drove it and I crashed it and I'm not insured, then there's nothing to fall back on. And that's quite simply some people giving advice in exercise where they might have their own opinion of their own knowledge base, and it may well be correct, it may be fantastic, but they're not qualified to do so. So I don't jump across other people's industries. I know that when Uber started, lots of taxi drivers were upset because people were taking their workload away at a cheaper rate, and that's how genuinely I feel about personal training. Now I know this is going to cause some debate because a lot of my friends are qualified, or they've got qualified later on in their careers because they felt like they needed to. Some people aren't qualified and don't think they need to because they don't think that the qualifications are worth the paper they're written on. The fact of the matter is, to legally do it in the UK under our guidelines, to be part of our industry, you need those qualifications. If you don't, then quite simply you're flying by the seat of your pants. So I'd like to hear back on from some of you with some comments on what your opinions are. And just lastly, I'd say, we can raise the standard of personal training by getting this feedback. I know now we're very proud of the team we've got at this club, and I know it's a very difficult job for young people to come into and to pick up, but it shouldn't be a job you do before you grow up. It should be a job you do as a career, and it should be a job that you get so much reward out of. If you can take somebody from an unsafe population to being well. If you can make a bride look fantastic for a wedding or a groom, if you can change somebody's lifestyle, self-esteem by doing your job correctly, then you've done a fantastic thing and you get self-reward from it. So please, if you are out there and you are a personal trainer, start thinking about the end game and not about the cash in your pocket at the beginning, because it's a short-lived career if all you're ever going to do is become a good salesman and be a crap trainer.